proposal to the Electric Utility Board, and they have approved the replacement of those two vehicles in the vehicle lease program. At this point in time, I'm asking the council to consider authorizing me to move forward with the replacement of those vehicles.
Thanks, Bill.
Bill, I had a question. Are the leases that are attached, these are the former leases, is that right?
We do not have...
you don't have...
We don't have the new leases here yet.
So are you asking council to approve leases that they don't have? Is that what you're
The
asking?
only difference in the leases would be the amounts, and I've indicated that in my write-up.
Without the document, though, it is going to be difficult to approve, right? I mean,
Do we have an actual a prospective lease from Altec at this point?
No, we do not.
Okay.
Is that, since it is something that you would have to get and sign before they started building the new trucks, I mean, is that something that you could get for, you know, a blank, unsigned copy of the new lease?
I can request that.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
At this point in time, all we've done is give them a verbal, which is not binding on our part.
Sure.
But we wanted to get the trucks in, you know, in the queue. I call it queue, but in the priority. If in fact we do move forward with replacing those vehicles.
Certainly understand that.
So right now, we've got a place in the queue, but we could, next month, if there is no signed lease.
If we do not execute, yes.
Correct.
So we would need to do it at the next council meeting if we wanted to get it.
If we get another copy, we can get a copy of the lease, know what we're going to be approving, then I'd be happy to consider this for the next meeting.
what interest rate do we pay on these leases?
I have no idea.
I mean,
It doesn't talk...
It's not a...
what's that?
Well, a lease is not really subject
Yeah,
to interest rate because it's a lease agreement. It's a specific payment for a specific period of time, but there's no breakdown of an APR or anything like that on a lease.
I think in car leases they work that way. I don't know if it's the same for commercial vehicles, but don't they? Really, there's some way to
buy out the vehicle,
exactly.
We have a capitalization up front. That would be the amount that would be the total for the cost of the vehicle.
There's a down payment, I'm assuming?
There's no down payment.
And is there some residual value or payoff that you could own it?
Absolutely there is. Like the two vehicles that will be going out of lease, they will provide for us, if we want to buy those vehicles, a buyout cost to own them. That's what we choose to do.
I mean, I think you could figure the interest rate, right, if you know the payment, some amortization schedule, and, I mean,
Well, I think if we were going to make a capital equipment purchase,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be financing it. Not on a $50,000 leased vehicle,
No.
or vehicle coming off lease.
and I guess that's what I'm getting at is, why don't we buy these vehicles? I mean, you said they go for 58 to 60. I know there's going to be repairs, and they're not probably easy or inexpensive to repair, but you have something at the end of, you know, when you dispose of it. And I just don't know any case where renting makes more sense than owning.
Is there a possibility, Bill, that we could get a copy of that 2009 lease versus purchase analysis?
Absolutely.
That would help us a lot.
Absolutely. You know, we've gone through this before 3 years ago, and we're going in 4. And the results of that analysis indicated there'd be significant savings. You know, one of the problems we have with our vehicles is we're not a large city, and we have limited resources in the way of vehicles, so the vehicles go out every day, and they operate out every day, and they operate every day. They may not drive very far, but they run all day, every day. We were having trouble, we were having very high maintenance repair costs on our older vehicles before we went to a lease program. Under the lease program, they're warranted for the entire length of the lease. The only maintenance items that we have to expense for are normal wear and tear items, tires, windshield wipers, things like that. If a vehicle breaks down, Alltech comes down, Alltech comes out. They have a mobile service that comes to us and repairs the vehicle at no cost to us.
So are you saying the two vehicles that you're looking to replace at this point are coming off of that lease period? They're leaving that warranty period?
Yes, they are. If we choose to purchase these vehicles in September of 2014, there will be no warranty left on those vehicles.
Correct.
So any problems that we have after that point in time would be ours, because we'll own them.
Bill, the analysis that was done in 2009, is that analysis on the same 6 vehicles? I mean, have we added any vehicles since then to the lease program, or has it been consistently the same 6 types of vehicles?
Well, Christy, it's been the same 6 types of vehicles. I think at one point when we started the program, I believe we started with 5. I'll have to double check that. And we added a vehicle. As our staff grew, we added another vehicle to the lease program along the way, I think.
Okay.
I'd have to check that.
I mean, I guess I'm a little bit familiar with this because I've been in an industry that we've went back and forth between leasing and buying. And honestly, depending on what you're looking at, you can kind of find ways to, support either or. I've always thought it was more of a volume type thing, that the larger you are, the more vehicles you have, you're probably better off owning them because you have more versatility of switching them out versus, like you said, the smaller. I guess my question would be, have we looked at this for other city departments? I mean, is there any equipment in the public works realm or in the parks realm that we should be looking at this more globally and doing analysis again? Not wanting to hold this up necessarily, but, I mean, is that something that we should look at on a broader scale?
We've got those studies back and forth with lease versus purchase versus lease versus purchase over the 25 years I've been here.
Yeah, it's just, I mean,
It's been back and forth and back
But
and forth.
is there any other department that leases its vehicles?
Not right now.
No.
and I would,
I mean, it just doesn't, so I guess the question is, are they wrong, or is Gardner Energy wrong? I mean,
I don't think there's necessarily wrong or right on this.
I think it's the type of,
It really
I
is.
might interject a little bit here with all of our vehicles, they're smaller than what some of the other departments may use. And through the purchasing program that we purchase our vehicles off of new, they're relatively inexpensive. So the life of the vehicle is pretty low cost in owning that vehicle. But we're not buying near the size of equipment that fire department may purchase, or energy department, or even public works for that matter.
We've done lease purchases where there's a buyout in the end, but that's really just an installment plan. It's really nothing more.
right.
And a lot of times the decision to lease versus buy has more to do with the prevailing market than anything else, interest rates and...
I think recently it's been cash flow.
Yes, absolutely.
So, hence the installment plan. We've done a few public works purchases that way. We did a fire truck before we detached, or whatever you call it, let Fire District 1 have it. We used to do cop cars by lease, not by lease purchase, but by lease. We haven't done that for years. So, back and forth, back and forth.
Okay. Let me make a suggestion, just quickly. I think we're looking to table the item. I think that we want to see a copy of a new blank agreement. I think that Steve's recommendation to bring the analysis from 2009, my guess is that over the next couple of weeks, you might be able to tune that for 2014. Just a guess, but and yeah, that's, I think that we've got what we need, and I hope that you would have what you need, and I would encourage any of the other members on the government